disappearing. Lemon with a come on, Aston. Aston is on pole. P1, P4. Their rivals in the constructors are P7 and 17 for the start of this race. So Vantage Aston, Ferrari's got a P3 driver, Mercedes have got P2. But what is going to happen as they get underway with the 5 red lights? Let's look at the tyres. Bunch of hards, bunch of mediums. Both Alpines going on the softs. Relatively clean. No major contact as of yet. There's actually, never mind, Christian's had an off. What has happened to Christian? He's went wide. And he's went from 7th all the way down to 19th. And there's just no good luck coming for Sauber recently. Azuma, he dropped down a place. He's actually gained a bunch of places. As speak of the devil, Azuma's now around, and Azuma's joining Christian right at the back. And the top 4 has had a switch. Nafi gets ahead of Raiden in the lead. The rest stays the thing. Chiz on the mediums. Highest medium runner now. The rest of the top 10. Par won the lads. All on hards. And Dave and Matty up 4 places each respectively. Kind of going together. Obviously, very hard track to pull away from in DRS. Christian's in the pits. I think he might have damage. Azuma's going to look for the move on UK Ryan. Simple enough. Azuma's way too quick to be back to be back here. Baja and Chiz having a little bit of a fight. Chiz is going to give enough room. Kind of squeeze Baja off the racing line. And Baja's going to hopefully come back and go around the outside. No contact. Baja loses the rear on their braking. Nothing drastic. One of the lads gets past a couple of cars. Dave and Quit Pig are fighting. Matty gets through unscathed. A lot of action happening. Woody up in the mediums. Getting past Quit Pig as well. Got Breezy looking for a move on Raiden. Gets it done nice and cleanly. Before, Chiz is the first one to break outside DRS, which could be a hindrance, but could be free way for the top 4 to kind of just bolt away for the rest of the pack and leave absolutely no issues, as you've got one of the lads holding, I think, almost everyone else up, as it's looking to maybe be a 1 or 2 car man overtake, as they look from the back of the Alpine with a couple drivers trying to go dive in. Where is that Red Bull gone? There's contact and there's a car round. Who is round? It's little Aaron, his Alpine teammate. Quick Pig gets ahead of the Alpine, but at the sacrifice of another Alpine. In that whole chaos, I don't know what Hiffy was doing. He must have outbroke and just went way deep. It looks like softs might only be good for a couple laps of racing. Baja got past Chiz during that whole spectrum. It's gonna be hard for them to catch back up to the lead quartet, as Woody gets past one of the lads from mediums to the softs. Most likely picks up a warning there. Goes wide. One of the lads back up ahead. Hiffy, there's another yellow flag. What's going on between Asuma and Koopa Killer? And the bad luck for the Williams drivers keep on coming, as Matty gets past both, and Matty is up to P5 after scoring his first points of the season last race from P8. A lot of carnage in these opening 4 laps. These 3 fighting is just going to allow Quick Pig and everyone else to catch back up, and allowing the top 4 to just pull away, as we could see the change for the lead. No, we are not at the current moment. We should see a change. Baja should get past Matty on this DRS straight here. Azuma is going to get past Aaron in the next couple of corners. He's right behind him, 3/10. We see Dave get past one of the lads. And we're going to see Barnesy send it down the inside. Rotates earlier. If he's outbraking himself, going off the track. What's these two drivers gonna do? Baja and Matty are fighting at this constant as well further up the grid, which allows Chiz to get in between both of them. One of the lads stays ahead of the Red Bull, behind the Williams. Quick Pig's now caught up to the trio. And the top four are 5 seconds ahead of everyone else, as the Red Bull of Hiffy finally gets past one of the lads on those softs. Those softs don't seem to be working one bit, and already causing issues for the two Alpine drivers, as one of the Alpines pits to get off the softs and probably stick on a set of hard compound tyres. Chiz, Matty, Baja, 3 wide. Quick Pig must have made a mistake. He's now a decent bit out. Matty looks like he is already out of ERS. And will just sit behind Chiz for a minute. His battery usage is off the charts. Oh, speaking of RB versus Red Bull, that battle's gonna continue for a couple of corners. We're gonna watch from the Ferrari. No, Baja's just gonna sit behind. He's gonna play this smart. Sheriff Woody, Dave, that's your next little pairing. Then you got Barnesy and Hiffy. Guido's all by himself, as one of the lads is just losing more and more time. He's gonna delve into the pits now. And yeah, it's just starting to slow down, which is good for everyone. Saying that, Baja, Matty, Chiz, almost 3 wide again. Bunch of contact, and Chiz and Baja get taken out. And it all came from a little tap from Matty onto Baja when Matty had really nowhere to go, turning around that corner, and it leaves the RB and the McLaren a couple places further down. Looks like Baja got the worst of it, as Chiz has only lost a couple places behind the reserve driver in the Mercedes for today's race. Biffy has a penalty, 10-second penalty, so I assume it was for cutting a corner. 7 laps into this race, and a couple of gaps starting to form. Maybe the Red Bull and the Ferrari could work together. Ferrari having a good race weekend. They need to reply back to teams like Mercedes, maybe McLaren, getting stronger and stronger over the race week. Obviously we have a Mercedes leading, so Quick Pig really needs to try and take this P5 and run with it. Got Chiz making a little bit of contact. His teammate Dave on the better tyres at this stage, I would say. Up to P8. Quick Pig gets ahead of Matty, which won't be horrendous for them. They're both relatively low. Matty goes a little bit deep. As Aquila and Raiden, they're going to swap. They've actually dropped outside of DRS range from the top two. So we're going to have a Ferrari Mercedes battle. Just like the good old 2018, 2019, 2017 real life seasons. Ferrari and McLaren and Mercedes even out on top. 1 and 2 fighting each other for the race win. Chiz Prost, first 3-second time penalty. That is probably going to be crucial. You don't want to pick ones up very at the early, as one of the lads does the exact same. Matty gets past Quit Pig once more, but Quit Pig's probably going to reply very quickly. Good bit of DRS swapping is probably what they need just to get further and further away from the Mercedes and the McLaren, chasing them down. Closest on battle action is still these couple of trains. Aquila just missing out on DRS by literal milliseconds, but now falls inside 9/10. Did he get DRS? No, he's just burning a lot of battery to get inside DRS zone, and the top four are all back together and still in the exact same places when they broke up. A lot of people getting 3 seconds. Barnesy, Baja now gets 3 seconds. Azuma's now decided 8 laps is enough on those mediums. Let's go into the pits. Change the set of tyres and hope for the best. Dave sends it on Sheriff Woody. Sheriff Woody's going to have to take avoiding action. Picks up a 3-second time penalty for said going off track to avoid a major contact. And Chiz is going to send it on the Mercedes. Mercedes tries. Can Woody try and get it? He's got it. Can he stick around the outside? No. Fortunately, he cannot. But he's going to try and switch back. Brilliant race in between the two. And Woody will maintain P8. Only for now, but I think he's going to delve into the pit lane. And this is the rules here. You got to stay on these lines and just hope for the best. It is quite carnage when you have a couple cars behind. As Hiffy found out, lost a little bit of time being slightly further back, but that is the price you pay. Barnesy's also delved into the pits. Now if Woody's got this right, he should be out ahead of Cooper Killer and all of them. It is going to be tight as Hiffy down the inside of Chiz. He will get DRS, he will take P8, and Woody is just going to stay ahead of Cooper Killer and all of those cars behind him, with Christian and all involved, which is crucial for his race, and being on those medium tyres is absolutely vital. One of the lads gets past Cooper Killer, who still hasn't pitted but is that far down. So Woody is going to just try and do a undercut, catch back up to these two cars, committing himself to the two-stop, mediums, to a set of hards for the end of the race, which might be a good idea. Guido comes into the pits. He will fall behind his teammate, I would imagine. He will go on to a set of mediums or hards. He'll go on the hards, so he's probably going to do a two-stop as well, but just go medium, hard, medium. And the top four starting to spread out a little bit. Top two still pulling away from the two Astons. Aaron picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. There's a lot of movement further down the field. You got Barnesy, Asuma, Christian, all fighting each other. Asuma gets ahead. Christian's going to head at Barnesy. Cooper Killer lost all the positions. Never mind, Barnesy's going to stay ahead. Hurting Christian's race, but he is on 10-lap-old hard tyres, as Breezy, Aquila, Quit Pig are all coming into the pits. All for a set of mediums. Nope, never mind. Aquila's going to go for another set of hards. What's the Ferrari going to go on to? Set of mediums. Something's happened with Aquila. I don't think he was able to get away, because he shouldn't be that far behind the Ferrari of Breezy, having just came into the pits around the same time. And this is what I mean. Undercut. 2 laps of undercut. Woody jumps the Ferrari of Quit Pig. And is living the life. Yellow flags up ahead. Who's had a moment? It looks like it was Baja. And Ryan Azuma gets past one of the lads quite comfortably. Oh, never mind. It's in the corner. Overtake burning. And there's contact. And that's a crash. And the Alpine, can he keep it on the road? He can. He didn't see Barnesy at all. Is that damage? Yes, it's damage for the Williams. Is it damage for the Alpine? No. So the Williams pair just is not getting any luck. Everyone's now coming into the pits except for Matty. Dave takes a 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. The Ferrari takes the lead. Red Bulls haven't pitted and could cause a major problem. Aquila's lost so much time. The Aston Martins have lost a massive amount of time to the top 2 of Breezy and Nafi on track. Meanwhile, the 2 Red Bulls probably going to try a 1-stop unless they pit in the next couple of laps. Probably have nothing to lose as we watch Aquila and Baja having a scrap, and there's contact, and Aquila just scrapes free, but he's gonna lose 2 places. As Sheriff Woody and Quit Pig are fighting, Woody's going to maintain P9. Matty delves into the pits, and I think the Red Bull teammate is going to as well. Breezy, how far is he ahead of Nafi? It is 2.7 seconds. Then a further 3 seconds back is Raiden. Where are the 2 Red Bulls gonna go out in this whole conversation? Looks like Matty's not gonna lose too much time to the cars ahead, but still is gonna lose a little bit. Actually, he has barely lost any time. He's lost 1.8 seconds going 2 laps over. Azuma's behind, so you might want to use the RB to catch up to these 2. Then you have Dave, Chiz, and Christian. There is your top 12 point scorers. But Baja will fall out of that. So preliminary, you're probably looking at one of the lads and Guido, due to Christian also being out of position. Probably gonna have to pit another time, guaranteed, very early compared to what he would have wanted after a first corner incident. That's a warning for Matty. But he is trying to push to catch up to these 2 who have caught up to Baja, who isn't coming into the pits. Breezy picks up 3 seconds. Matty picks up 3 seconds. I think Woody just picked up 3 seconds as well. A lot of different drivers on 3-second time penalties. It's not too good, especially only halfway into this race. As this Baja is going to fight this one. Very ferocious. Woody's going to break into the corner. Should get better traction control. Will very much get better traction control. The Ferrari's going to follow suit. Try and get past. Baja won't. What is Matty going to do? If the RB plays it right, Matty's going to sit behind, which isn't the worst thing, as Baja still has got the pace. He's going to go for the move now, when he sees his moment. Beautiful move. But will have to pick up another warning, which isn't ideal. But at least he has DRS on the 2 cars he's been fighting for a decent bit, as Azuma picks up another 3 seconds. So out of these 4 cars, Quit Pig is the only one to not receive a penalty. In fact, even if you have the 2 McLarens added into this battle, the Ferrari looks favourite to take a P5 so far, but they are all closing up to Aquila in the Aston, who got away quite late from his pit stop. has lost a lot of time. Woody, Ferrari, round 3. Should get past. The Ferrari's going to try and do the switchback. Executes it wonderfully. But the Mercedes should have the inside line, but he's going to back out. And Quick Pig stays ahead. And hasn't lost too much time fighting that Mercedes at the current point. Naffy is closing right back up to Breezy. We're going to have a look who's got the fastest lap. Still, it is Breezy, the 107.7. No one else is in the 107s at all. Matty's picking up warnings left, right, and centre, I may add. So maybe we'll just stop going on board and hope he gets a bunch of good luck. Obviously, if Woody's picked up any more warnings, that 3-second penalty might stand. Because he did have to go off track to avoid collisions, as the Red Bull of Hiffy has picked up another 3-second time penalty. Aaron is boxed off of those mediums. We'll probably go into a set of hards and just say let's go to the end. Christian's also pitted onto mediums. Cooper Killer's still out on the tyres though. 17 lap old hards. Baha was around the outside. Bunch of carnage. That's Hiffy with front wing damage. No, it's not. How? I have no idea. And it's now just carnage. As we watch from a decent angle, Baha's really been the loser out of all this. He's going to finally get past Baha. 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Dave gets another 3-second time penalty, I believe. He's up to 13 seconds, actually. As we could have a change for the lead here. No ERS Mercedes versus 30% in the Ferrari. Barnesy picks up a 3-second time penalty. All the time penalties are flooding in right now. As looks like Chiz made a little bit of mistake into turn 3. As those 4 cars still just cannot catch Aquila on those set of hards. Obviously Aquila's going to go on the set of mediums, so it might actually play out in the thing. There's an incident here, including Barnesy, and I think his teammate Ryan and Christian. Contact was made. Ryan's going to go for a send, which is ultimately going to allow Christian just to take the place. No, never mind. He's going to send into the next corner as Naffy takes the lead into turn 3. Matty and Woody are fighting. Matty and Woody fighting has actually allowed Quick Pig to kind of pull away for a minute, which is good news for him. Asuma, he's now caught up to these two. If you want to finish first, if you finish first, you can win the race. Well, you have to finish in order to finish first. Little Aaron, he picks up another 3 seconds. Asuma gets past Matty. He's on his fight back after all his big pile of incidents. Breezy, 3-second time penalty. I think he might just try and sit with Naffy. He might just have to take a P2 out of all this, which would mean Mercedes will close up a little bit more. Good run of form as Naffy had. Got P3 last race. He's now P1 currently this race. The Astons are 3 and 4, so they'll take back the lead. Woody's coming into the pits. I think he'll put on a set of hards and run to the end. Get the undercut going once more. Azuma 2 seconds back from Quick Pig, so it's actually not really working out. As grey clouds are looming around Austria. Don't know if there is a threat of rain. One bit. Do appreciate everyone turning out, watching the stream right now. Drop a follow if you want. I'll say everyone who follows at the end of this, because got action happening. Cooper Killer, the last person who's finally made a pit stop, took him to lap 20, involved about 5 different incidents, but hey, He's still in the race, but he is about to be lapped by the Mercedes and the Ferrari, the leading duo. And it's just going bad to worse for Williams drivers as Christian picks up a 3-second time penalty. Doesn't look like a soon. Matty's coming in for an early pit stop. 6 laps in the mediums and he's had enough. What can the Ferrari do? The Williams ghosting in between here. You can see the ghost car. He can't really do anything, which is good news. We can actually enjoy a battle. Matty and one of the lads just came into the pits. Where is Matty gonna get out? He's gonna be just behind Woody. He's gonna come out ahead of Christian. And it looks like he's come out in a pretty good spot. He's gonna be with Woody again. Could be an issue. But they could just work together. Fresh hards to the end of the race. Looking good. Speaking of Woody, gets past Baja as Raiden, first guy in the top 4 to delve into the pits. Looking to probably close up that 7-second gap to the leading 2. Chiz and Dave are kind of falling back, but good point scoring positions as right now. Dave will probably lose a couple of times, so he probably would rather pit later than never. And gets out just ahead of Raiden. Matty picks up his 2nd time penalty of the day. A lot of people are starting to pick up 6 seconds. Woody, 107.7. Barely takes the fastest lap of the race. Raiden, easy like new tires. Dave's not going to fight it. He knows there's no point of trying to fight. He needs to just keep driving as fast as he can. Further back, we're going to have a little bit of action here. Maybe not. Woody actually hasn't pulled away from these cars as much as we would have expected. Matty's struggling to stay with the top cars here, and the front 2 of this train. As Breezy goes into the pits and will come out, I think, just ahead of his own teammate Quit Pig. Hopefully to help his team. Nope, he's come out far enough to where he's not going to be getting DRS. Chiz picks up his 6 seconds. Hiffy picks up another 3 seconds. I believe that is Chiz on 6 seconds as we speak. Fastest lap, Woody has it. Yep, Chiz is on 3 seconds. Quit Pig and Isuma have lost, swapped places even. Speaking of swap places, Matty and Baja. P11, Matty now has the hope he can just pull away from these 2 cars. Catch back up to the salver of catch back up to the Mercedes of Woody. Catch up to that Sauber and try and regain some of that battery that he needs very desperately. Barnesy, 107.4 for the Williams team. They have not had a good couple of weeks at all. As I believe everything has just glitched out me. Everyone has just retired from the race. That is weird. Okay, that is not good one bit. Do apologize. That was nothing I could control. Don't worry, we're back. We're back. Something just happened. Nothing I could control. Game just decided to glitch me out, like, out of the lobby. Made everyone retire. We should be completely fine. Spectator mode. Hey, we're back. We're back. Everyone's, Aquila's behind Breezy now. Zuma's just in no man's land. What have we missed? Sheriff Woody's got past Guido quite easily. Matty's still fighting. Quit Pigs came out behind those cars. So that is not good for the Ferrari. Lost a lot of time, especially the Sheriff Woody, who could be trying to close in on the Aston that we are currently on board with. And little drops of rain are we seeing? Are we seeing a couple drops of rain in the forecast? Obviously, we never got a weather report. So I think we could see a couple of laps of the Inters. So a couple people staying out, like Inzuma, Chiz, Dave, Guido, Aquila, Nafi. They're all staying out. And a couple people pitting just to get that extra bit of pace. Breezy has, I believe, Barnsey. Yep, that is Barnsey. Just in his way. Obviously, ghost cars. We don't want people to cause accidents. We're gonna actually go, and we're gonna go look at Quit Pig. We might have pitted at the wrong time. Into the pits. Perfectly. Well, into the corner ahead of Christian even. Don't know why I said pits. He's now behind the Red Bull Matty. And Sheriff Woody is just pulling away massively for the fight for P5. Dave ahead of him. That is gonna be a penalty. There's nothing we could say about that. That is a penalty. You cannot do that. Unfortunately, Dave. A lot of people pitting. Are they going to pit for Inters or are they going to pit for Dries? It has to be Inters. If you pit for Dries now, you might be in trouble. Matty, 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Dave's the first one to be pitting anyways. Inter tires. Baja goes for the set slicks. Must have been a strategy error from RB. Christian in the Inters. Is that the first call for many people to box? Nafi doesn't think so. But Breezy does. The second you see the DRS being disabled is the second you need to start diving into the pits. The Astons are in a little bit of a pickle. They are right next to each other. And Breezy obviously on the Inters, going to be behind Asuma. He might be behind Chiz. In fact, he will just come out ahead. So this is actually kind of a good thing to see. Are the Inters faster than the Slicks? This is the crucial thing. Yes, he's on old tires. But if you're getting that much grip on the Inters in one corner, it might just have switched over to Inters. Baja, Matty, 3-second time penalties. It's just a bunch of chaos at the back here. Actually, no, most of them are just pitting. Hiffy is the only one that stayed out of all those cars. Nafi finally pits. 15 laps on those mediums, wait for the wet period. Hiffy's actually overtaking Christian, who's on the set of Inters. Obviously, Christian's not really recovered as well as we thought. But it is getting the Inter territory. Got Nafi coming out of the pits. He's going to be ahead of the Ferrari still, but the gap has closed down quite a bit. It was like 5 seconds before the Ferrari pitted. 4 seconds gained from the Ferrari. Chiz has stayed out. Dave is obviously boxed, so he's out behind Christian. Chiz should pit this lap. Unless, is it going to get wet enough? There's still so much rubber on the track. Is it going to be wet enough for the inters to continue? Or is it still going to be dry enough for the rest of the race to continue? Yellow flags. I think that got cleared. Something with the Haas. I think that's just Ryan. One of the lads. That's Ryan Barnesy and Raiden, I believe. One of the lads picks up a penalty. Wonderful. A lot of 3-second penalties are going to start happening. Matty on 19 seconds. Obviously a 10-second time penalty does make that a lot worse. Still, you don't want to be doing 19 seconds around a short track like this. Asuma comes into the pits. Is Chiz going to brave this one out? We got Sheriff Woody on much fresher slicks. You got Quick Pig actually staying with Aquila here. Asuma's pitted for another set of hards. So I don't think it is actually dry enough. And Aquila, okay, won't get DRS for that, but I think it's now has to be Inter, surely. Iffy, another 3-second time penalty. It looked so good for the Red Bulls at one stage, and it's fallen apart. A lot of stuff has happened. Iffy, how far is he ahead of Christian? He's just ahead of Christian. Guido's came out just behind Christian, which at this rate means that he will be ahead of Christian on track, which isn't something he'll necessarily want. Got 6 seconds, so he'll hopefully try and catch up to Aaron. Baja won't catch up to Inzuma in time. Meanwhile, 8.3 seconds between the leader on slicks and the leader on inters. This is a gap to keep an eye out for, as Dave and Guido fighting. Dave will get past Piffy. Will get past Christian once again. 7.9. We're just seeing out of every corner how much is Nafi gaining. Not really gaining a lot, but he is gaining enough to where it is starting to look more like Inters. Sheriff Woody, obviously, P4, has a 3-second penalty to his name, so at the moment he will still keep his P4 title for the time being. As you have Aquila right behind the 19-lap-old McLaren Mercedes. And he's just going to go simple move down the inside. Chiz actually has a little bit more grip than you would expect for 19-lap-old hards on these conditions. Got Quick Pig, Asuma. They're both right behind, looking to make it P6. I don't think it's going to fully be Inters in the next couple of laps. I mean, he's 8 seconds... Okay, 8 seconds slower. Maybe it is becoming more and more Inters. But it isn't as bad... Like, a 13.7 is what Woody's been able to do. I think he'll get P5. But it's going... The margins won't be as big as you think. Dave pick up another 3 seconds. Closest on-track battle would be Asuma right now, as Guido is fighting Dave. At this point, there's nothing really anyone can do. They're all on... What did I say? Asuma on Dave. I meant Asuma on Chiz. 20-lap-old versus 2-lap-old slick tires. It's a no-brainer who's going to win that contest. The right Christian's going. I don't think he'll catch Baja, but he should have... He'll need to close that gap down by another 4 seconds for safety. Dave gets past Hiffy. I think it's now just turning to Inters. So a little bit of rain, a little bit of trickery in this. still with the top two leading out, but you can see the Haas of UK Ryan, the lap car, is able to just out-traction Raiden at any given point without any consequences, and Aquila is now inside the 3-second range of Woody. Best place he's going to finish is 4. Right now, that is good enough for him. He won't be able to get the podium. Quit Pig. He'll get past Chiz on the old hards. I believe if Chiz... he surely should stay ahead of Baja. Yellow flag. What has happened? The Guido here on the big straight. The longest straight of Austria. We have a car right behind him. Hopefully not make any contact. It's Koopa Killer. Sheriff Woody takes up another 3 seconds. So that's guaranteed he is not going to be doing anything with that. Could actually lose out P5 to Asuma if he's not careful. As Nafi, we're going to watch this here, has caught back up to the Aston Martin who stayed out. DRS, Inter tires. You're gonna have more grip on the Inters, but it's just not dry enough. And why is Dave slowing down massively? Was he just waiting for... did he do something and has just decided he's gonna wait? You got the Sheriff Woody Aquila. They've now overtaken. Asuma looks like he's gonna take P5 at this rate. But Breezy and Nafi ahead of Raiden, who's really starting to struggle now. And I'm surprised DRS is not being turned off fully. We have a look at penalties. Yeah, Sheriff Woody's on 6, Asuma's on 3, so that extra 3 seconds that Woody picked up last lap is gonna be crucial. Guido, Koopa Killer fighting. Aaron's behind Christian now, who is alternately gonna catch Chiz and still needs to gain a couple of seconds if he wants P8. A little bit of a fight back. Koopa Killer another 3 seconds. This is just the fight for who's gonna take on track P3. Raiden isn't gonna get P2 because he is too far back from the Aston, or from the Ferrari in the Aston. Slick tires ain't working no more. Woody's falling off massively as well. Asuma's now caught up to him, but he'll still take a P6. He's still ahead of the Ferrari, which was the main battle for the two Mercedes cars for today. Dave gets past his teammate, which shows how much he's struggling. I think Chiz has almost had a puncher. But it's going to be Nafi on top. And Mercedes' fortune keeps going. Breezy, the championship leader, takes an all-important P2. As DRS now gets disabled, Raiden P3. And Aquila P4. It's Aston Delight. They regain championship lead. With Asuma and Woody 5 and 6. Quit Pig quite a far way back in the Ferrari. They will gain points on Sauber, which is the good thing about this. And they're only going to be fighting for P3 with the Mercedes in a couple of races, with the way they have been. But they look a lot stronger in the last couple of weeks. Baja will finish behind Christian because of penalties. Christian, recovery drive after the first couple of races. Chiz has crashed. Think there might have been a little bit of an issue. Dave, Aaron won the lads. Then Matty. Instead it's his teammate Hiffy because of Matty's penalties. Guido will jump up to P13. Not enough to take points. Alpine, with their bad qualifying, still managed to pick up the final couple points paying positions. And all hell has broke loose, but the championship leader just keeps extending his advantage. And it is just all good for them. You have the Astons regaining a decent control. Mercedes and Ferrari. Are they going to be battling out for P3 in the constructors? Nathy, is he now making a claim for the drivers? He was in P5 at the start of this race, and by the looks of things, he might just be ahead of Raiden and in P3 in the championship. Maybe even P2. There's your top 12 drivers, top 14 with the Sauber. Sauber really didn't have a good race today. After having a good race last race, they've struggled here today, and they are paying